Today on the Tasting Room, we're revisiting Campari. Welcome to the Tasting Room, where we drink adult beverages
and judge them.
I'm Brian.
I'm Derica.
And this, we screwed up last time we did a video on it.
Right. So this is Campari, and Campari is a mixing ingredient. It's really not meant to be drunk alone.
But nothing on the bottle says that. I just wanted to point that out.
Sure. So when we did our initial tasting, we tasted it straight. Brian absolutely hated it. I actually didn't mind it too much. And we got so much crap from our viewers that were like, you know what? They're right.
Yeah.
We should taste things as they were intended, even if it doesn't say so on the bottle.
And that's the thing. You know, when this channel started out, I kind of wanted to prove a point that I think a lot of labels are wrong and people should, like, if you don't know, you don't know. I mean, somebody who doesn't know, they see this, they go, ooh, sweet and red. I'm going to get that. And then they try it and they go, ugh, this is not sweet. You know? So, and it doesn't say anything on it. Now, obviously, we're in the digital age where you can just look things up, and I get that. But what if you didn't? You know, I think the label, the bottle should say a little something about its intended usage. That's all I'm getting at. Notice we bought a larger bottle this time.
So I looked up what are the most famous cocktails made with Campari, and the first one that came up was the Negroni, which, if you know about the Negroni, it's gin-based.
So I'm going to hate it.
So we're not doing that one. Instead, we found a variation of the Negroni that is
the Boulevardier.
Now, this is a recipe that was made during Prohibition, which is really fun because we just did a talk about Prohibition. I'll make sure to link that video in the description below if you're interested in watching it. But this famous cocktail was created by legendary bartender Harry McElhone.
Where do you see it?
McElhone.
McKellen.
Is that how you pronounce that?
Maybe. Sounds good.
Of Harry's bar in Paris during the Prohibition years after he moved away from the USA. Harry married his American roots with the European lifestyle by combining bourbon with Campari and sweet red vermouth to create the classic cocktail with a rich and intense flavor.
I got a little bit left.
Yep. So we're going to start with 1 ounce of Campari.
Okie dokie. Kind of pink.
1 ounce of sweet vermouth.
Get some of the dust off it.
Do you need a paper towel?
Nope. We don't use this very often.
No, we don't.
As evidenced by the fact that I
Sugars
can't even open it.
probably use the lid.
Yep. All right. Once I get it open. How much of this?
1 ounce.
1 ounce. I don't know. The measurements are seeming kind of simple here.
And then 1.5 ounce of bourbon.
Ooh, so it's mostly bourbon. Well, it's got more bourbon than other things.
Now, I saw in another recipe that you can switch out bourbon for rye whiskey.
Well, this is a high rye bourbon, so best of both worlds.
That's right.
1.5?
Yep.
Now, Campari is 24% alcohol. This is 50.5%. Does vermouth even have alcohol? Probably a little. I don't think it's got much.
And now we stir.
Oh, really? There's no soda type stuff in this one?
Nope, not in this one.
All right.
Now, the ingredients on the Campari website, they tell you to pour that into a moussing glass with ice cubes, stir well, and then strain into a chilled cocktail glass. And then you can additionally garnish with a lemon twist. But we skipped the middleman and just dumped it all in here with an ice cube.
We're keeping it simple. How many people really put garnishes on all the cocktails they have at home? I mean,
it wasn't the garnish part so much as that the...
Yeah, the mixing glass. Just throw in a glass with some
Especially
ice.
when they're stirring. They're not even shaking. You just
Yeah.
stir. It's stirred, not shooken.
Shooken?
Shooken.
Shooken. That tastes like something I've had before.
The combination of all those things kind of ends up with a cherry note.
A little bit. All right. Campari has now redeemed itself. By the way, if you were curious about Campari, it says bitter right on the label.
Yep.
I never noticed that before.
Yep, right there in the front.
Right there. It's
center.
in little tiny letters, but it is there.
Gilded.
Yeah. I don't hate this, but I wouldn't probably make it myself.
Right, but I think if you were having a fun Prohibition party I would put this on your
If
cocktail
you're having a
list.
prohibition party, nobody's drinking. It depends on what kind of party. It smells nice. I think I'd like something with a little more sweetener in it because I'm getting that weird bitterness that I did not appreciate from Campari.
Yeah, you're probably not going to like this one either then.
Yeah, probably not, but it's okay. I have to admit, I like it better than when we first tasted Campari. I still think it's not really my tastes, but
The combination of all three definitely creates a cherry note, which I am enjoying.
I would probably use a little bit more sweet vermouth and whiskey and less Campari. But that's me personally. And at that point, I could probably drink this. Or a little McGillicuddy's in there would be great. A little cherry liqueur. I have a thing for the Dr. McGillicuddy's cherry liqueur, though. It's just good. I mix that with Wild Turkey 101 all the time.
So do you want to judge this
I think I can judge it based on this. I need to have a little bit more.
for science? There are many different cocktail recipes on the Campari website. I will make sure to link that in the description below as well, in case you want to have some fun making Campari-based cocktails. But right now,
On your screen, you should be seeing our scorecard, which goes 1 through 11, because that's right. Ours goes to 11. What you don't see on there is the 0 for things that just absolutely suck. I'm going to give a little prediction here. This isn't a 0, and it's not an 11. Because here's the thing. This drink that we just had is very dependent on the bourbon that you use, as well as the vermouth. We're just using Martini and Rossi Sweet Vermouth. I don't know if that's good, bad,
I
otherwise.
think it's cheap.
It's the cheap one, probably,
Yep,
yeah.
probably.
We've had it for a while. Obviously, it was hard to get that bottle open. So I think it's very dependent on those things. So I'm giving it a little bit of leeway because of that. Because if you use a really good bourbon, it might taste a little better. If you use a lesser bourbon, it might taste worse.
Yep.
Wow, this is rough for me. It's hard. Do you have a number?
I'm bouncing between 2.
Me too. I'm not sure which one to go with. I know where to go. I know where to go. Are you ready?
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 5.
7.5.
Yeah, I figured you were going to be significantly higher than me. I was bouncing between 5 and 5.5. As I drank more of it, I started to get more of that really bitter thing that I just don't like it. I just don't like that flavor, and that's what I tasted when we had Campari the first time. I tasted the Campari in that beverage, which it's still not my thing, but it's better than I thought it was.
Fair enough.
Like, I don't absolutely hate it. I don't want to dump the bottle out, but I'm probably never going to add Campari to anything that I'm drinking.
I guess the rest
Unless
is
we
mine.
run out of bitters, I might put like 3 drops into an old fashioned. That's about the extent of it.
Do you have a favorite cocktail that you enjoy with Campari in it? Let us know in the comments below.
And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching and have a great day.
Bye-bye.